league play. Overall, they're 12-4. And there's going to be ball 4, I believe. He was stealing, but that is going to be ball 4. So the first two get on via the walk. Let's see Tolson on the air as far as walks. Has given up 19 walks. But leading off the game here with 2 walks here in the top of the first. Tolson with a delivery, and that is going to be in there for the strike off the inside. Up now is Avery Fulford. He'll be the pitcher for Conifer. And then John Vota and then Jackson Hale. Tolson checks the runner at second. Now the pitch is going to be up and away for ball 1, 1 ball and 1 strike. As we get started just a little bit late here, but not bad after the 5th game of the day. So they're going to try the pick play at second, but back safely is Watchell. Watchell gets a big lead, and that is going to be a swing and a miss. A strike 2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes to the third place batter, Avery Fulford. Watchell on the air has 5 stolen bases. They don't steal a lot, only 13 according to Max Preps. That's going to be low and away for ball 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. As we play here in the top of the first inning, this Carlos 7 League tournament game. And the pitch, and that is going to be inside for ball 3. So Tolson having a little bit of time locating the plate. So a 3-2 count with 1 out. With no outs, excuse me. That's the strike 3 calls right there. As Fulford just stood there and watched. I think they've got the scoreboard wrong. They're showing 2 outs, but I believe there's only 1. Brings up the cleanup hitter, John Vota. And the pitch, and that is in there. That curveball dropped right in there. So no balls and 1 strike to John Vota, batting at .292. 14 hits on the year. And the delivery, and that is going to be low. 1 ball and 1 strike to the third baseman for Conifer. Tolson looks into Fajardo for the sign. Checks the runner out at second, and now that pitch is going to be fouled back. So we'll see if Bobby Tolson can work his way out of 2 leadoff walks. That ball is going to be hit out to the shortstop and across, and that will be actually the third out. Apparently David Jacobson was out at first, I believe. I did not catch that, but after the first half inning, it is no score. We go to the bottom of the first, and the Mustangs coming up to bat on B106 and B106.com. Brian Nickel here at Legion Field in Fort Morgan. The Mustangs get out of a couple of, I thought it was a couple of walks. I missed a pitch there someplace apparently to first. But the Mustangs will come up to bat. They lead off for the Mustangs will be J.P. Hamer. He'll play center field. Second at bat will be Jacob Ortega, shortstop. Then Trey McBride at first. Isaac Linker, cleanup, is at second base. Jimmy Keller in the 5th position is in left field. Alex Ortega, the 6th batter, is in right field. Austin Apple will be at third. He bats 7th. Felix Ortega, the DH, he will bat 8th. And Conifer Fajardo, the catcher, will bat 9th. And on the hill for Conifer is Avery Fulford. And that first pitch is going to be inside for ball one. That is J.P. Hamer at the plate. And the delivery, and that is going to be outside ball two. 2 balls and no strikes. So Hamer on the year is batting at .440. And that pitch is right down the middle for a strike. 2 balls and 1 strike to the leadoff batter, J.P. Hamer. Batting at .440, has 22 hits, 17 RBIs. And the pitch, and that is going to be outside for ball 3. 3 balls and 1 strike to Hamer. As the Mustangs look to get up on Conifer, and that ball is low and inside for the walk. That will bring up Jacob Ortega. And Jacob on the year is batting at .283. 15 hits, 17 RBIs. He has walked 5 times and struck out 6. Fulford throws back over to keep Hamer close, but Hamer back in, standing up at first. Fulford back up on the mound, getting his signs from Cody Brown as he comes to the set. And the delivery, and that is going to be in the dirt for ball 1. On deck is Trey McBride in the hole, Isaac Linker. Fulford checks Hamer over at first. Hamer, I'm going to throw back over and keep him close. Hamer has 17 stolen bases on the year. Beautiful day here, a slight breeze out of the west, very slight, about 65 degrees, and Hamer's taken off, and they're going to throw down, and Hamer will be in there standing up. So for J.P. Hamer. Got a man in scoring position now for Jacob Ortega. So that was a strike on that last delivery. Hamer getting a good lead out at second. Fulford checks him and comes to the plate. Now he's going to bunt. He's going to bunt it out to the pitcher. They're going to hustle down, and they will get the runner at first. But that will send Hamer to third. So the sacrifice bunt. Was successful. Now Trey McBride up to the plate for the Mustangs. McBride on the year does have 6 home runs. He has not hit one here at Legion Field. So we'll see if they pitch to him. A couple of games ago, I believe it was Fort Lupton. They didn't pitch. That's going to be hit single through the... So 1-0 Fort Morgan. First Fort Morgan run brought to you by Cargill Solutions. Cargill is committed to feeding the world in a responsible way by reducing environmental impact and continuously improving products and processes. Learn about Cargill's story of commitment at www.cargill.com. Checking McBride. Back to first. Fulford with the pitch, and that's going to be hit right down to the third baseman. They're going to come clear across for. So run number 2 comes in, but Linker gets to second base on the error. So Jimmy Keller up. So Linker stands out at second base with Jimmy Keller at the plate. And that's going to be a ball outside. And the pitch, and that is going to be low for ball 2. 2 balls and 1 strike as we play with 1 out here in the bottom of the first. Fulford checks Linker back out at second, nobody even close. And that pitch is going to be in there for a strike. 2 balls and 1 strike to the 5th place batter, Jimmy Keller. The Mustangs lead it here 2-0. With Jimmy Keller at the plate, and the pitch, and that is going to be in there for a strike. Looks like it was a little in, but it's been called a strike. 2 balls and 2 strikes with 1 out to Keller. The only out recorded so far is Jacob Ortega on the sac bunt that got Hamer over to third. Then McBride scored. And that's going to be a... Linker was on the run, and Keller brings him in with the single. Now we're going to have a talk out at the mound from the coach. So B&B Appliance, when you're shopping for new appliances, shop the best appliance store in Fort Morgan. B&B Appliance carries a full and complete line of Whirlpool appliances and will help you find your perfect fit. B&B Appliance in downtown Fort Morgan. So home plate umpire finally goes out and breaks up that conference. And up to the plate is Alex Ortega. And Alex on the air is batting at .270 with 9 RBIs. Nobody. Now we have time called at the plate as Ortega steps out and gathers himself as he looks down to Coach Langford. Now steps back into the batter's box and is ready to go. 3-0 here at Fort Morgan as we play in the bottom of the first. 3 runs on 2 hits, 1 error by Conifer. And Avery Fulford with a delivery, and that is going to be a big swing and a miss. He was trying to go downtown with that one, but did not connect. So Avery Fulford on the year, only 1 win and 4 losses with a 4.67 ERA. And taking off from first is Keller, but that ball is going to be fouled off the plate for a no ball 2-strike count. So that'll send Keller back to first base. It's Coach Langford sends the signs out to everybody. As Fulford checks Keller over at first. They're going to throw back over to first, but Keller back in easily. Goes back in. Standing up. So Hamer led this off with a walk. Jacob Ortega with the bunt, and then Hamer had the steal. And that pitch is going to be a strike 3 called on Ortega. So 2 outs now. As that will bring up Austin Apple. With Keller left at first. And they throw back over to first once again, and Keller back in safely. So Hamer led off with a walk, stole second. And then Jacob Ortega with the bunt, with a sacrifice bunt, got him to third, and that pitch is going to be low and outside for ball 1. McBride with a single scores Hamer, and then Linker got to second on an error, and McBride scored on that one. And then Keller with a single scores Linker. And that is going to be fouled off. Linker reached on an error, and he did get to second base on that error. Then Keller with that single scored Linker, and then Alex Ortega with the strikeout, and now Austin Apple at the plate. As the Mustangs lead it 3-0 here in the bottom of the first. And the pitch, and that is going to be strike 3, but Keller will take off and steal second. So they're showing. Yep. So 1 ball and 2 strikes now to Austin Apple as Fulford steps off the plate. With 2 outs here, the Mustangs have plated 3. As Fulford checks Keller out at second. And the delivery, and that is going to be high. Keller was about a third of the way to third base and then put the brakes on and came back. Cody Brown had stood up, looked like he was going to throw down to second, but did not. So 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs here in the bottom of the first, with the Mustangs leading at 3-0, and that pitch is going to be fouled down the right field line and just out of play. So the count remains 2 balls and 2 strikes. To Austin Apple. On deck is Felix Ortega, the DH. He is DHing for Bobby Tolson. And then Conifer Jarder will be the 9th place batter today. And that is going to be called strike 3 for Fulford. So the Mustangs put some runs on the board here as we go to the top of the second, with the Mustangs leading at 3-0 on B106 and B106.com. So 3-0 Fort Morgan as we go to the top of inning number 2. And that will bring up Jackson Hale, the second baseman for Conifer. He will be followed by Cody Brown and then Alex Ainsworth. And if anybody does get on, Daniel Betch. But that pitch is going to be low in the dirt. 4 ball 1, Bobby Tolson with 22 pitches, 13 balls and only 9 strikes. And the delivery, and that is going to be outside for ball 2, 2 balls and no strikes to Jackson Hale. Batting at .375. And the delivery, and that ball is hit deep down that left field line. And that the ball. So I have that for the first hit of the game for the Lobos, and it was a deep one as it went out over the left field fence. And that is in there for a strike. To Cody Brown, and that pitch catches the outside corner for strike 2. No balls and 2 strikes to Cody Brown, the catcher. Yes, Tolson with the delivery, and that is going to be up and away for ball 1. 1 ball and 2 strikes to the 6th place hitter. So Hale with a home run. That ball is going to go foul off to the right. Count remains at 1 ball and 2 strikes. And the delivery, and that ball is going to be hit out to center field. We'll see if it's going to drop in for a single. Wasn't hit as hard as I thought it was. So Cody Brown on now for Alex Ainsworth, the left fielder. So we'll see how Bobby Tolson does here now as we play in the second inning, 3-1. Tolson checks his runner over at first. Now the delivery. That is a hard hit ball down the left field line, and that is going to be caught out there in left field for the first out. Out to
I brought you a live one, that way you can still feel tough.
Out to short left field. So 1 out. Now they're going to throw back over to first, but sliding in safely is Cody Brown. So Tolson, I have him with 30 total pitches so far. And the delivery, and that is going to be in there, catches the inside corner for a strike. No balls and 1 strike with 1 out. Mustangs leading at 3-1. Jackson Hale led the inning off with a home run. And that's going to be hit out to right field. And coming up with that ball is Alex Ortega with the catch. So 2 outs now here in the top of the first, and that will bring up James Mooney, the center fielder. James Mooney on the year batting at .222. Cody Brown this year has 3 stolen bases, and that ball is going to be inside. 4 ball 1 and no strikes here on James Mooney, the center fielder. Not much of a lead over at first there by Brown, and that is a nice curveball for a strike. So 1 ball and 1 strike. For Bobby Tolson, and that fastball is going to be outside. Ball 2, 2 balls and 1 strike. As Mooney gets back into the box, Chris Watchell on deck, and that ball is hit out to center field. Looks like Hamer's getting under it, and he comes down with the ball, so that will be the 3rd out of the inning, but the Lobos do get on the scoreboard with a home run by Jackson Hale. So we will go to the bottom of the second on Morgan County's B106 and B106.com. Three to one as we go into the bottom of the second inning. Leading off the bottom of the second will be Felix Ortega, followed by Conifer Fajardo, and then J.P. Hamer back to the top of the lineup. So Felix Ortega bats in from the right side. Avery Fulford with the pitch, and that is going to be in there for a strike. So Felix Ortega on the year so far is batting at 250. Fulford with the delivery, and that is going to be a little bit low for ball one. 1 ball and 1 strike. To Felix Ortega. And the delivery, and that is going to be nubbed out to second base. And the throw over, and Ortega will be out at first on the ground out to second. So that will bring up Connor Fajardo. And he also bats from the right side. Fajardo on the year batting at 270. 6 walks, 7 strikeouts. So Avery Fulford with the pitch. That changeup misses high. 4 ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes. 3-1 Mustangs. We play here in the bottom of 2. Fulford with a delivery, and that misses, must be just a little bit low. So 2 balls and no strikes. Looks like the home plate umpire was looking over into the Conifer dugout. I don't know if somebody was chirping a little bit over there. But Fulford with the delivery, and that is right down the middle for strike 1. 2 balls and 1 strike. To the 9th place batter, Connor Fajardo, the catcher. And the pitch, and that is going to be hit out to the shortstop. And throw across, and out at first will be Fajardo. So nice job out there. By the shortstop, David Jacobson. So back to the top of the lineup with Hamer. Hamer walked, stole second, got to third on the sac bunt, and then was driven in by a single by McBride. And that pitch is going to be low. 4 ball 1. And Avery Fulford with the delivery, and that is going to be fouled. So 1 ball and 1 strike. To Hamer, and he walked his first time up, as I said, and then stole second. Got to third on the sac bunt by Ortega, and was singled in by McBride for the first run of the game. And the delivery, that is going to be low and outside for ball 2. 2 balls and 1 strike. And then Linker drives McBride in on an error. He got to second on that error. And that's going to be a swing and a miss by Hamer. So that evens the count at 2-2. Well, Fulford looking in to Brown for the sign, the windup, and the pitch. And that hits the dirt out in front of the plate. So we have a full count here. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. So we'll see what Avery Fulford throws him here. If he wants to throw him a fastball or a changeup, curveball. Oh, hits him. And it wasn't a hard thrown ball. It looked like more of a curve ball, but did catch Hamer up around the shoulder, it looked like. So Hamer on once again, and that will bring up Jacob Ortega. His first time up had the sacrifice bunt, but did get Hamer over to third. Hamer with a short lead over at first. They're not even holding him on, but now they're going to throw back to first. So Watchell not right on the bag. He's about 2 feet just inside the bag, but close enough for the throw over and tag if they need to. But Fulford with the pitch, and Hamer is going to take off, and that ball is going to go. It's going to hit Hamer actually. But Hamer with his second steal. As he gets down to second, and that was called a ball. So 1 ball and no strikes to the number 2 hitter, Jacob Ortega. Shortstop for most of the year, and that pitch is going to be in there for a strike. So 1 ball, 1 strike, with Hamer out at second base. (17 RBIs on the year for Ortega. As Fulford checks in for the sign, now he's going to step off. Gather himself a little bit, Hamer retreats back to second. Hilltop Garage, serving Northeast Colorado for 3 generations, committed to their customers with quality service and reasonable prices. In need of a tow, call 522-5757. And the pitch is going to be called a ball. Looked like it must have been a little low. So 2 balls and 1 strike. So this round robin tournament, this game was originally scheduled to get the pitch here, and that is going to get out to the, takes it. So a tough bounce there out there short for the shortstop, David Jacobson. But that will bring Hamer in. Now we'll bring up Trey McBride. He was up first time, and he did get a single, 1 for 1. Nice sliding stop there by Cody Brown for that pitch that was in the dirt. 1 ball and no strikes to McBride. But that ball hit where the grass and the infield, the dirt start, and it just took a bounce way up over the head of the shortstop, and that pitch is going to be low and away for ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes with 2 outs here in the bottom of the second. The Mustangs put another one on. 4-1 now Mustangs. Fulford, and that is a hard hit ball down the left field line. Just out of the diving reach of the left field. So McBride with the double will get the RBI. So now 5-2. That pitch is in there for a strike. No balls and 1 strike to Isaac Linker, the number 4 batter here in the lineup. Linker, first time up, reached on an error. He actually got to second base on that error. And on that play, McBride scored from second. He was already running, but he did come around and score on that error. And that pitch is going to be upstairs for ball one. 1 ball and 1 strike. To Isaac Linker. Avery Fulford I have with 46 total pitches. 1 ball and 1 strike, and that pitch is going to be low for ball 2. 2 balls and 1 strike. Fulford with 22 balls, 25 strikes. Fulford checks McBride out at second, now comes home, and that pitch misses outside. So 3 balls and 1 strike to Linker. Linker on the year has 6 walks, struck out twice, and 4 stolen bases. Linker in from the right side as they look back at McBride. And they're going to step off as McBride retreats back to second, nobody even close. Mr. D's Ace Farm and Home Center is your headquarters for all your home, farm, and ranch supplies from plumbing to feed, with 3 locations to serve you. And the pitch, and that is going to be a swing and a miss for strike 2. So Linker trying to get a couple of more runs on the board there with that swing. Linker does have 1 home run. But 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. McBride is taken off, and it's going to be fouled out of play. So the count remains at 3 balls, 2 strikes. To the junior, Isaac Linker, batting at .423, does have 19 RBIs on the year. Fulford checks his sign from Brown. Checks McBride back at second, and the delivery, and that is going to be hit out to
Mustang Athletics on B106.
so 5-1 as we go to and that is going to be hit out to left field for a single. So first pitch hitting, and they do get a single from Watchell. That will bring up David Jacobson. He got on via the walk his first time up. So Avery Fulford on deck, John Fotaw in the hole. Tolson with the pitch, and that is going to be in the dirt, gets by Fajardo, but just rolls back between his legs and the umpire's legs. So it didn't get far enough away for Watchell to take off. So Tolson with 38 pitches as he comes with the delivery, and that is going to be in there for a strike. 1 ball and 1 strike. To Watchell. And they throw over to first. Watchell back in plenty of time. Watchell has 5 stolen bases. Now they're going to do sacrifice bunt, and Tolson slips. So everybody will be safe. But lost his footing. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and give him a hit for that one. But runners at first and second with no outs. That brings up Avery Fulford, the pitcher, and that pitch is way upstairs for ball 1. But Tolson went to get it, and his feet just went right out from under him. Might be getting just a little bit of dew on that grass. I'm not sure. He just lost his footing. But Fulford on the strikeout, his first time through. And the pitch, and that is going to be inside for ball 2. 2 balls, no strikes, no outs. Mustangs lead at 5-1. Score 3 in the first, 2 in the second. Check the runner back at second. Now the delivery, and that's a hard hit ball out to center. That's going to be right to Hamer. Nice job for Hamer to track that ball into the infield. But that was a pretty well struck ball, but Hamer had it played just right for the first out here in the top of the third. That brings up John Vota. Grounded out his first time up, and that curveball stayed up. 1 ball and no strikes with 2 on. And the pitch, and that is going to be driven foul and out of play. He got some good distance on that, but it went foul down the left field line. So the count evens up at 1 ball, 1 strike, and 1 out to the cleanup hitter, John Vota. And that is going to be hit out to the shortstop. Go to second for 1. And McBride couldn't handle it, but the runner will score from third. So 6-4 on the putout. And the runner at second was out by the force out. So the runner at first, that's in there for a strike. As that pitch misses for ball 1, 1 ball and 1 strike. And this is to Jackson Hale. That pitch is going to miss way up and out. And the 3 ball, 1 strike count now. And that pitch is going to be in there for a strike. Jackson was going to take off down the first baseline, but that was called a strike. And that ball is going to be fouled off. So sitting at 3 balls and 2 strikes to Jackson Hale. Home run when he was up last time. And that is, just missed. Looked like it was in there, but they're going to call it back. So runners now at first and second with 2 outs. The faithful here at Legion Field thought that was in there for the strike, but did not get a call. So now Cody Brown, the catcher, is up. Cody Brown singled his first time up. So runners at first and second, 5-2 now. Fort Morgan here in the top of the third. Tolson with a pitch, and that is going to be fouled straight back. So no balls and 1 strike to the 6th place batter, Cody Brown. They're going to throw over to first. I think they got. So Brian Nickelback here, we go into the bottom of the third, with the Mustangs leading at 5-2. Conifer gets one across on the, they tried to go for the force out at first, but it could not be picked up by McBride, and that brought the runner around to score. And up to the plate is Jimmy Keller. He is 1 for 1 with a single. Pitch by Fulford, and that is going to be low and outside for ball one. 1 ball and no strikes. I have Fulford with 52 total pitches. Bobby Tolson with 54. So Fulford with the delivery, and that is going to catch the inside part of the plate for a strike. 1 ball and 1 strike. To the 5th place batter, Jimmy Keller, as I said before, a single. He had a single in the first scoring linker, and that ball is going to be fouled down the left field line. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. So as I said, Keller did have the single scoring linker for that third run in the top, or in the bottom of the first. So Fulford gets his sign, and now the delivery, and that is going to be way outside as it gets back to the backstop. So 2 balls and 2 strikes to Jimmy Keller. Beautiful night here at Legion Field. And the delivery, and that's going to be a hard hit single right over Fulford. So a nice hit out there by Jimmy Keller. Brings up Alex Ortega. He is 0 for 1 on the strikeout his first time up. So he gets his signs from Coach Langford down at third. First base coach Grant Harden down at first. And Fulford checks his runner over at first, and now that's going to be fouled off of the catcher's mask. So he's going to take a minute and walk out to the pitcher. Shake the cobwebs loose there a little bit, having the ball come back on you like that. So no balls and 1 strike to Alex Ortega. Going to throw back over to first, but in safely is Keller. Bobby Tolson did pick off that runner at first to end the top of the third. Now they're going to quick pitch back over to first, but Keller back in safely. So keeping an eye on Keller. Keller with 6 stolen bases so far this year, as we play in game 17. And he's going to take off, and that's a swing and a miss. They're going to throw down to second, but in safely is Keller with the stolen base. So no outs here with a runner in scoring position for Alex Ortega. As Fulford looks in for the sign. And he checks back at second. Big lead out there at second, and the pitch. That's going to be outside, way outside, but nice stop by Cody Brown to keep that ball from getting back to the backstop. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. Fulford with a delivery, and that is going to be a swing and a miss, strike 3. So now Austin Apple up to the plate. Apple is 0 for 1. He struck out his first time up. So we've got an RBI sitting out there at second base. Fulford steps off as Carroll gets back onto the bag, but no throw. Fulford checks, and now the delivery, and now it's going to be a bunt. Nice bunt by Apple. And we'll see if they can get does work. That goes 1-3 for the putout. So now Jimmy Keller at third with 2 outs. So it's up now to Felix Ortega. See if we can drive this run in. That first pitch is a strike. No balls and 1 strike. Keller gets to third on the sac bunt. Pitch misses outside for ball 1. 1 ball and 1 strike. Felix is 0 for 1, grounded out his first time up at the plate. A nice little base hit here would look good, and that is going to be right back up. That was off of the pitcher's glove. And the shortstop just could not come up with it out there in time. So that brings across the 6th run. The Mustangs now lead at 6-2. So that will bring up Fajardo, Connor Fajardo. With Felix Ortega out there at first, he does get the RBI, and that pitch is going to be in there for a strike. So the Mustangs get the one back that they gave up in the top of the third. As Fulford checks his sign from Cody Brown, now he's going to check Ortega over at first. And the delivery, and that is going to be in there for a strike. No balls and 2 strikes to Fajardo. He grounded out his first time up at the plate. As Ortega gets not a real big lead. Fulford with the delivery, and that is going to be reached for and just fouled off at the end of the bat, but out of play. So the count remains no balls and 2 strikes with 2 outs. With J.P. Hamer on deck, Jacob Ortega in the hole. And the delivery, and that is going to be hit. Let's see if they can run into it. It's going to be up to the second baseman as he flips over the center fielder coming in, but nobody hurt there. But that is the third out here in the bottom of the third inning, but the Mustangs do play 1. So we'll go to the top of the 4th with the Mustangs leading at 6-2 on Morgan County's B106 and B106.com. Brian Nickel here at Legion Field as we play here at the top of the 4th inning. Mustangs get one back in the bottom of the 3rd to go up 6-2. And up to bat for the Conifer Lobos is Cody Brown, then Alex Ainsworth, and then Daniel Betch. And the delivery by Tolson is going to be fouled straight back. So Cody Brown is 1 for 1 with a single. And the delivery by Tolson is that's going to be right back to him, off of him. He runs it down and underhands it to McBride. Got the flip to McBride for the out. So 1 up, 1 down. And that will bring up Alex Ainsworth. He is 0 for 1 of the flyout. And that is inside. I don't know how that didn't hit him. He turned just in time. But in there, 4-ball-1, and that is going to be nubbed out, and Apple is going to come up with it and throw to McBride, and pulled off of the bag. It was McBride, had to reach for it. So Apple, we're going to go Apple with the error. So Alex Ainsworth on at first with 1 out. That brings up Daniel Betch, right fielder. He is 0 for 1. He flied out his first time up. Tolson with the delivery, and that is going to be fouled over the dugout to the right for strike 1. No balls and 1 strike. And 1 out here in the top of the 4th, with the Mustangs leading at 6-2. The delivery, and that is going to be fouled down, or hit down the right field line, and that's going to drop for the base hit. And it looks like they will hold him to a single, but just out there in front of Alex Ortega. So now 2 on with 1 out for James Mooney, the 9th place batter. Mooney, his first time up, he also flied out. As he gets his signs from his coach down at 3rd. So runners at 1st and 2nd with 1 out. And he's going to have him go through the signs one more time. I have Tolson with 60 pitches here in the top of the 4th. Tolson with the delivery, and that apparently misses high. That curveball stayed up. So 1 ball and no strike to the number 9 hitter, James Mooney. Now they're going to have you pick off. So that's the second pickoff of the game for Tolson. And that pitch is in there for a strike. So 1 ball and 1 strike. For the second out on that pickoff, and that pitch, nice job by Fajardo to track that down on the out, as it missed outside for ball 2. Bobby Tolson with his second pickoff of the game. So he had one earlier. So Tolson with the delivery, and that is well inside. James Mooney ducks out of the way, but it's a 3-1 count now on Mooney. As Tolson checks his runner over at first. And the delivery, that's going to be a swing and a miss for strike 2. So 3 balls and 2 strikes. So we'll see if Tolson can get out of this. The runner takes off from first, but it's going to be inside for ball 4. So now runners at first and second for the leadoff hitter, Chris Watchell. He is 1 for 1, had a walk his first time up, and then a single his last time up. But Bobby Tolson, his first pickoff was to end the top of the third. That's going to miss for a ball, as that is well inside. 1 ball and no strikes, but Tolson picks off the runner at first for the third out of the top of the third. Now he picks off a runner out at second for the second out. And now that ball is going to be hit out to left field, out to Keller. And he camps under it and comes down with the out. So no harm done as we go to the bottom of the fourth with the Mustangs leading at 6-2 on B106 and B106.com. 6-2 as we go. Hamer is 0 for 0 as he had a walk and then was hit by a pitch. The delivery by Fulford, and that is going to be outside for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes to the leadoff hitter, J.P. Hamer. I believe this is his third time through. And that pitch is in there for a strike. 1 ball and 1 strike. This is Hamer's third time up. Fulford checks the sign and comes in with it, and that ball is hit to the shortstop, and out at first is Hamer. Hard hit to the shortstop, though. So 6-3 on the putout, as that will bring up Jacob Ortega. Ortega is 1 for 1. He had a sacrifice bunt. In the first inning. And that pitch is going to be inside for ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes. Jacob Ortega also had a single in the second, which scored Hamer. And that ball is going to be fouled off to the right. But Ortega with his third time up also. 1 for 1 with a sac bunt and a single. And that pitch is going to be in the dirt for ball 2. 2 balls and 1 strike. To the number 2 hitter, Jacob Ortega. Fulford with a delivery, and that is going to be inside and gets back to the fence. For ball 3, 3 balls and 1 strike. So round 2 of these playoffs will be tomorrow. The Mustangs will lead it off in the morning at 9 o'clock. They will play Weld Central. And then round 3 will be Saturday afternoon also. That will be at 4:30 against Fort Lupton. Fulford with a delivery, and that is a hard hit ball. That was a hard hit ball out to left field. That will bring up Trey McBride. He is 2 for 2, a single and a double. So working on the cycle here is McBride. On deck is Isaac Linker. In the hole is Jimmy Keller. So McBride on the year with 6 home runs. I know he'd like to hit one here. Has not hit one at Legion Field this year. Fulford steps off, and that sends Ortega back to first. Now they're going to have a little conference with the catcher and pitcher. Equitable Savings and Loan, proud to be Northeast Colorado's locally owned hometown savings and loan, with locations in Fort Morgan, Sterling, and Brush. They are available 24/7 for your banking needs. So Brown back in behind the plate. McBride steps in, gets his position now, and then Fulford will check with Brown on his side as they check Ortega over at first. They're going to throw back, and nice pick over there by Chris Watchell. That ball was almost in the dirt. So McBride at the plate. They're going to throw back over to Watchell, and back safely once again is Jacob Ortega. So keeping a close watch on Jacob. 7 stolen bases on the year for Jacob. Now they're going to throw back once again. They're worried about Ortega taking off. So we play here in the bottom of the 4th inning with 1 out. Hamer with the ground out, and then Jacob Ortega with a single. He's on first, and he does take off. That ball is going to be outside, and standing up at second base is Jacob Ortega, so I guess they had good reason for him to be worried because he steals second. And now an RBI sitting out there for McBride. As Ortega gets his lead from second. Second baseman's going to walk in behind, but now he's going to retreat back out to his position. And that is going to be a big swing and a miss by McBride. So 1 ball and 1 strike with 1 out here in the bottom of the 4th inning. As this game got started late, about 7:30, we're an hour and 18 minutes into it. As Fulford with the delivery, and that's going to get by the catcher back to the backstop. So that will be a wild pitch, as that will send Ortega to third. So 2 balls and 1 strike. The count on McBride as he gets ahead in the count. Yes, Avery Fulford with 79 total pitches, 46 strikes, 33 balls. With the windup and the delivery, and that is going to be fouled back to the screen. So the count is now at 2 balls, 2 strikes with 1 out. So Hamer grounded out. Jacob Ortega with a single, stole second. And the wild pitch gets him to third. So McBride looking to get this RBI in here. Isaac Linker on deck. Fulford with a delivery, and that is going to be up and out. Nice stop there by Brown. Yes, that ball is destined for the backstop, but reached up and picked that one out of the air. So a full count now on McBride. 3 balls, 2 strikes with 1 out. So if he can just get it in play, it looks like they will give the run, and that is up and in for the walk. So now runners at first and third. That will bring up Isaac Linker. He is 0 for 2, reached on an error, and then on the flyout, he did get into second base on that error. But on that play, McBride scored from second. So now Fulford checks Brown at the plate, looks at McBride over at first. So we'll see if they have anything going on here. And that ball gets by to the backstop, and that will be so another wild pitch. Gets McBride to second. Now they're going to have a conference out at the mound. We will see if they switch pitchers. Or see what they're up to. So Ortega comes in from third on that wild pitch. Linker with the 1 ball, no strike count. Some of our fine sponsors here for Fort Morgan Mustang Baseball. Hilltop Garage, serving Northeast Colorado for 3 generations, committed to their customers with quality service and reasonable prices. In need of a tow, call 522-5757. So it looks like Fulford will stay on the mound. Maybe they went out to talk over, well, they're only one on anyway as Ortega scores. Blinker at the plate with the 1 ball, no strike count. McBride out at second. That ball is going to be fouled off to the right, but that will get out of play. So 1 ball, 1 strike on Linker, his third time through the lineup. He reached on an error in the first inning, got to second. McBride scored on the play. Linker with a 1-1 count with 1 out. McBride with a decent lead. And McBride will get to third on another wild pitch. So now McBride 90 feet closer. For Linker, and that is going to be popped right up the chute here, but it's going to be back and out of play for the foul. So 2 balls, 2 strikes to Linker. So the wild pitch to third. The wild pitch, the first wild pitch sent McBride to second, and then the second one got to third. That ball will get out. Two score. The Mustangs. But Hamer comes down with it out in center field. So now 8-2 as they plate 2 here. That will bring up Jimmy Keller. Keller is 2 for 2 with 2 singles. That is going to be fouled back over our heads for the foul ball. So no balls and 1 strike. So McBride scores on the sac fly. And the pitch in the dirt for ball 1 ball and no strikes. So 2 outs here in the bottom of the 4th. 8-2 Fort Morgan. Fulford with a pitch, and that is going to be hit foul just in front of the Conifer dugout, but the first baseman could not get over to it, so 1 ball and 2 strikes. So Avery Fulford, 90 total pitches now. And the delivery, and that is going to be nub foul on the third base side. So in this inning, Hamer led it off with a ground out, and Jacob Ortega with a single, steals second, gets to third on a wild pitch. McBride walks. And then on a wild pitch to Linker, that scores Ortega, sends McBride to second. 2 balls down, 2 strikes. And then on the next wild pitch to third base, that sends McBride to third, and then Linker with the sacrifice fly scores McBride. And that pitch misses inside. Keller was thinking about that one, but held up. So 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Nobody on. But the Mustangs have plated 2 to make it 8-2. And the delivery, and that is going to be a hard hit ball through the infield for the single for Jimmy Keller. So that will bring up Alex Ortega. Ortega is 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts. So Fulford checks Keller over at first. As Alex Ortega bats in from the right side. Keller stays at first as that ball is fouled back to the screen. So a nice crowd here tonight for the Fort Morgan Mustangs. Nice, beautiful night. A beautiful day here. A slight breeze out of the west. And the delivery, and that is going to be in the dirt for ball 1. 1 ball and 1 strike to Alex Ortega. He has struck out twice here tonight. And that ball is going to be hit foul down the left field line, and that will be out of play. So 1 ball and 2 strikes on the 6th place hitter, Alex Ortega. Austin Apple on deck. Felix Ortega, designated hitter for the Mustangs tonight, in the hole. Do have 2 outs here as we play in the bottom of the 4th. Mustangs have plated 2. They scored 3 in the first, 2 in the second, 1 in the third, and so far 2 in the 4th with Jimmy Keller at first. And a 1 strike, and Keller is going to take off. And he will reach safely on the stolen base as it goes to 2 balls and 2 strikes. Ortega held up on the swing. So 2 balls and 2 strikes, 2 outs. And that is going to be a swing and a miss for strike 3. So that will end the bottom of the 4th. But the Mustangs put 2 on the board. As we go to the bottom of the top of the 5th, the Mustangs lead at 8-2 on B106 and B106.com. 8-2 as we go to the top of the 5th inning. The Mustangs lead it. Up for the Conifer Lobos will be David Jacobson. He is 1 for 1, a walk and then a bunt. As they retrieve a ball that got loose here on the infield. Bobby Tolson still on the hill for the Mustangs with 68 total pitches, 31 balls, 37 strikes. And that ball is going to be fouled out of play down the right field line. As the kids go scrambling for the ball, bring it back to the field of play. So David Jacobson, the number 2 batter for Conifer, as I said, 1 for 1, a walk, and then a bunt. Tolson with the pitch, and that is going to be a lazy hit out into center field, just over the head of the shortstop Ortega. But not a real hard hit ball, but well placed by Jacobson. So that will bring up Avery Fulford, the pitcher. He is 0 for 2 with a strikeout and a flyout. So Jacobson on at first, Bobby Tolson on the hill, and the delivery, that slow curveball is a swing and a miss for strike 1. So no balls and 1 strike. 8-2 Fort Morgan as we play in the top of the 5th inning. Been an hour and 33 minutes so far. And the delivery, that fastball is in the dirt, but stopped by Fajardo. Nice sliding stop by Fajardo to keep that ball in front of him and keep Jacobson at first. So Jacobson not with much of a lead, about maybe a 2-step lead is all he's getting. And now that pitch gets by Fajardo. That's going to be a pass ball, and that will send Jacobson down to second. So now a runner in scoring position for Conifer. Conifer with 2 runs on 7 hits, 1 error, and 5 left. All unofficial, of course, except for the score. 8 runs, 8 hits, 1 error, and 4 left for the Mustangs so far. So 2 balls and 1 strike. Now 3 balls and 1 strike. Fajardo getting a workout behind the plate. As Tolson takes a minute out at the mound, and Fulford steps back into the box. So Jacobson out at second. Tolson with the delivery, and that is inside for ball 4. So that will bring up the number 4 hitter, John Vota. 1 for 2, a ground out and a single. But runners at first and second. Jacobson at second. Fulford at first. Tolson with the delivery, and that is going to be in there for strike 1. No balls and 1 strike. Fort Morgan beat Conifer in 4.5 innings this season, 12-0. And that ball is going to miss for a ball, 1 ball and 1 strike. Bobby Tolson with the win in that one. Pitched 4 innings, had 2 hits, 1 walk, and 2 strikeouts. 46 total pitches in the 12-0 win back on April 7th. That ball is going to be fouled off to the right. So Tolson gets ahead in the count, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Still no outs here in the top of the 5th. Tolson with the delivery, and that is going to be hit out to the second baseman. Linker with it for the force there, and then on to first. Man over at third. That is a strike, swing and a miss. So now David Jacobson over at third base after the double play. 1 ball and 1 strike to Jackson Hale, a home run. His first time up, and then a walk, so he is 1 for 1. So Hale hit that home run to lead off the second inning. So Bobby Tolson with the double play to help him get out, or at least get the 2 outs here. Now it's going to be inside for ball 2, 2 balls and 1 strike. Tolson with a delivery, big swing and a miss by Jackson Hale. Jackson Hale on the year has struck out 6 times. He's having a little conference now with his third base coach. Buildings by Design has the experience to complete your project from start to finish. Get the quality you deserve in your building by starting your build project right. Start with Buildings by Design. So Hale back into the batter's box. So 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. 2 outs come via the double play. And the pitch. And that just misses outside for ball 3. That looked like a pretty good pitch. Must have been just a little bit outside. 3 balls now. 2 strikes, the full count on Jackson Hale. As David Jacobson stands over at third. Tolson with the delivery, and that is going to be upstairs for ball 4. So that will bring up Cody Brown. He is 1 for 2, a single and a ground out, but now runners on at the corners with the Mustangs up 8-2. Now Conifer Jardo out in front of the plate giving some signs to his infielders. So Cody Brown, the catcher, up. I said a single and a ground out. So we play with 2 outs here in the top of the 5th. And the pitch, and that is going to be a big swing and a miss. Yes, Tolson blows that one by Brown. Hale with the lead over at first, and the delivery, and that is in there for strike 2. Fastball catches that outside corner. Be a nice spot here for a strikeout with a man at third. So Bobby Tolson, they're going to throw over to first, but back safely is Hale. As they get the ball back to the pitcher. Tolson checks the runner at first, and now to the delivery. That's a swing and a miss. 8-2 as we go to the bottom of the 5th inning. Up for the Mustangs will be Austin Apple, Felix Ortega, and Conifer Jardo. And out on the hill still is Avery Fulford. So Fulford with 99 total pitches. So he's getting up there towards his pitch limit. I believe that is, his pitch limit will be 110. So Sid leading it off, Austin Apple 0 for 1, a strikeout and a sac bunt. And that pitch is low for ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes. To the number 7 batter for the Mustangs, and third baseman, Austin Apple. The delivery, and that is going to be a hit out to the second baseman. So a tough bounce out there. I'm going to go ahead and give him a single on that. That was a tough bounce out there to the second baseman for Apple. So Felix Ortega up to the plate. He has a ground out and a single, 1 for 2. So Apple over at first. And that pitch is low for ball 1. This may be his last pitcher here. He has 8 pitches left, so we'll see if he gets through Ortega or not. He can finish Ortega. And that is going to be a ball hit slowly out to the shortstop. To the shortstop. So runners now. That will bring up Conifer Jardo. So we have a courtesy runner going in, and for Felix Ortega. And that will be Dylan Woods. So Dylan Woods now on for Felix Ortega. So we now have runners at first and second. And a bunt. Nice bunt down the third base. Excellent bunt there by Fajardo. And he will take a seat, and now we have a courtesy runner out at first for Fajardo. And that will be Nick Castaneda. So it looks like we will have a pitching change, I believe. Let's see who they... See who they're going to pitch. And that will be number 13 out on the hill. That will be Jackson Hale. So it looks like they're going to switch positions. Jackson Hale will go to second. So Fulford Jackson Hale will be now the new pitcher. And Avery Fulford will be the new third baseman. So 8-2 here as we play here in the top of the bottom of the fifth inning. Mustangs have the bases loaded. Austin Apple at second. Dylan Woods, the courtesy runner, out at second base, and then Fajardo with the bunt, and we have a courtesy runner, Castaneda, over at first. Yes, Jackson Hale warms up, so up when they get ready will be J.P. Hamer will be back up. For his fourth time. Hamer led off with a walk. And then he scored on a single by McBride. Hamer then was hit by a pitch, singled, and then scored once again when Jacob Ortega with a single. He scored. Now the pitch is going to get by, and that will bring Austin Apple in and move everybody up on the wild pitch. So now 9-2 Fort Morgan as they get one here in the bottom of the fifth. And that is going to be way upstairs for ball two. 2 balls and no strikes. So Apple scores on a wild pitch. That pitch finds the strike zone for the 2-1 count. A walk, hit by pitch, and then a ground out. And that pitch is also in there for a strike. 2 balls, 2 strikes. To J.P. Hamer, the leadoff hitter for the Mustangs. Runners at second and third, both courtesy runners. Nick Castaneda out at second, Dylan Woods at third. And that is going to be up and away for ball 3. Full count on Hamer as he steps back in to the box, and the delivery, and that is going to be outside for ball 4. So nice job there by Hamer as he got behind in the count and then ended up walking. Now up is Jacob Ortega. So that is the second walk for Hamer. So now the bases are loaded, and that pitch, curveball in there for a strike. No balls and one strike on Jacob Ortega. And that pitch misses outside for ball one. 1 ball, 1 strike. 9-2 Fort Morgan as we play here in the bottom of the 5th. And that pitch is going to be fouled straight back. 1 ball, 2 strikes. So we'll see if Fort Morgan can, with no outs here, can get some runs across here and end this thing here in the bottom of the 5th. But first things first here with Jacob Ortega as the bases are loaded. And the pitch, and that is going to be looped out into short center field. And second baseman comes up with it. And so a pop out. Nice job on the Woods is out at the plate as that went to the 4-1-3 on the putout. So now runners still at the first and second, but now with 2 outs as McBride up to the plate. And that pitch in the dirt, but kept in front of the catcher Cody Brown. So 1 ball and no strikes. McBride on the night, a single, a double, and a walk. With Hamer over at first and Nick Castaneda, and that hits McBride. Not a happy camper as he is hit by that pitch from Jackson Hale. So that will bring up Isaac Linker. Now runners on every base. Nick Castaneda at third, J.P. Hamer at second, and McBride at first. So Isaac Linker up, and he has reached on an error, flied out, and then a sacrifice fly. So he is 0 for 2. Yeah, they're going to have a little talk with the... I don't know, his delivery maybe. I'm not sure just what they're talking to. They're talking to the pitcher about something. I'm not sure the way his delivery is. We will see what they were up to here. It's 9-2 as we play in the bottom of the 5th. And as they chat with the pitcher and the coach now out there at the mound. Smart coach. 375 Charmony Frontage Road in Sterling. So 2 outs here in the bottom of the 5th. And the courtesy runner was thrown out after the fly out by Jacob Ortega. So no, and the pitch, and that's going to be low and away for ball 1. So Dylan Woods tried to score from third on that hit out to, it wasn't a hit, it was a fly ball just out behind second base that the second baseman got, and then they got that, threw Dylan Woods out at the plate for the second out. But 2 balls and no strikes here on Isaac Linker. And the delivery, and that, they're going to give that to him. Looked like it was inside, but they're going to give him a a strike on that pitch. So 2 balls, 1 strike with 2 outs. The bases are loaded, and that's a hard hit ball. The Fort Morgan Mustangs postgame show is brought to you by Morgan Community College. Visit MCC online at www.morgancc.edu or stop by the campus for a personal advising session. MCC, here to help you imagine, believe, and achieve your goals. The Mustangs win it in 5 as they score 4 in the bottom of the 5th inning to win it 12-2. Unofficially 2 runs on 7 hits, 2 errors, and 7 left for Conifer. The Mustangs with 12 runs, 11 hits, 1 error, and 5 left for the Mustangs. Winning pitcher for the time of the game, 1 hour and 55 minutes. The winning pitcher is Bobby Tolson with 88 total pitches, 48 strikes, and 40 balls. Has 2 strikeouts, 6 walks. For the Mustangs here tonight, the Mustangs will play tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock. They will play Weld Central in the second round. But the Mustangs scored 3 in the bottom of the first. J.P. Hamer with a walk gets to second, and then is Jacob Ortega with the bunts, with the sacrifice bunt, gets Hamer over to third, and then McBride with the single will bring Hamer in from third. And then Linker reaches via the error. He gets to second, and on that, McBride was running, so he scores on that error. Then Keller singles, scoring Linker. And that's the Mustangs go up 3-0 in the bottom of the first. Conifer gets a leadoff home run in the top of the second by Hale for their 1 run. And then in the second inning, the Mustangs score 2. Hamer is hit by a pitch, then steals second. Then Jacob Ortega with a single scores Hamer. And then McBride with a double, he scores Ortega for the 2 runs. Then going into the third inning, the Lobos get 1 run across, but in the top of that inning, the Bobby Tolson picks off the runner at first to end the top of the third inning. So, and Tolson, that was his first pickoff. He also had a pickoff later on out at second base. The Mustangs score 1 in the bottom of the third. Keller with a single, then he steals second, and then on the Apple with the sacrifice bunt gets Keller to third. Ortega with a single scores Keller for the 1 run in the third inning. In the fourth, the Mustangs put 2 across. Jacob Ortega with a single, he steals second. Then on a wild pitch, he will go to third. And then Linker with the sacrifice fly. And then Keller with a single. And the Mustangs put 2 up on the board in the fourth. And then in the fifth, the Mustangs get a single by Austin Apple. He scores on a wild pitch. Let's see. Felix Ortega gets on base by error. And then Fajardo bunts, and everybody is safe. They couldn't give him a hit on that, so the bases were loaded. Keston, they had a fly out, and then the courtesy runner, Woods, tried to score, and they got the second out. And then Hamer was on, Ortega with a fly out, and then McBride was hit by a pitch to load the bases, and then Isaac Linker clears the bases with a double, For the 12-2 final, as they put 4 across in the in the bottom of the 5th inning. The Fort Morgan Mustangs player of the game is brought to you by Transwest Chevrolet Buick, serving Northeast Colorado and now located in Fort Morgan and Sterling. They have a great selection of new and used vehicles. Stop by and take a test drive. And before we get to that, I wanted to get the second pickoff by Bobby Tolson. and he picked the runner off at second. That was for the second out in the fourth inning. So our Mustang player of the day I'm going to give to Isaac Klinker. He had 4 RBIs today. He was at the plate 4 times, scored a run, but did drive in the final 3 runs to end this game at 12-2 for the Fort Morgan Mustangs. So once again, the Mustangs will play tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock. They will play Weld Central. That will be followed by Fort Lupton and Conifer. Of course, we will not have that game. We will have the Fort Morgan Weld Central game. And then after that game, the Mustangs will not play again until 4:30, and that will be against Fort Lupton. So nice job here by the Fort Morgan Mustangs tonight as they win at 12-2 in round 1 of the Colorado 7 tournament. Great job tonight by our sound engineer and producer for Fort Morgan Mustangs baseball, and that has been Isaac Greenwood. I'm Brian Nickel. Once again, the final score of the Fort Morgan Mustangs over the Conifer Lobos by a score of 12-2. You've been listening to Fort Morgan Mustangs baseball on B106 and B106.com. Good night, everybody.